that's not keto.
Hey, it's Ryan from the Carb Situation. Remember, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a trainer. I'm just a human guinea pig who likes to read a lot and willing to experiment. If you go on the journey with me, maybe you'll learn what I learned. Oh yeah, and I curse a lot. Let's do this.
Hey guys, today I want to talk about how to not be a douchebag on keto. And anytime there's sort of a diet craze or a fad or something that everyone's talking about, a buzzword, something like that, you always have that group of people or that person who wants to police it all. So you tell a friend, I'm trying out the keto lifestyle, and you're sitting there eating X, Y, and Z, and they look down and go, that's not keto. My recommendation is probably to tell that person to fuck off, because it's not their world, it's not their health, it's yours. And also, don't be that person who goes around and says, I've been learning a lot about low-carb lifestyle, and that's not keto. It's just fucking annoying, and who does it help? The person probably gets discouraged, and they're like, oh, well, I'm not doing it right. I might as well fuck off and go drink a Budweiser. So people who walk around and police what's keto and what's not, and what should be in a low-carb diet and what shouldn't, fuck those people. Don't worry about any of that, and don't be that person. Okay, that's my little rant. Now, related, I want to talk about what I call the spectrum of compliance. Hopefully, you're joining me to transition into a low-carb lifestyle. If you're just here for the entertainment, thank you. That's cool too, I promise. But if you are reducing the carbs in your diet, then realize that there's sort of a spectrum of how you can do this. At one end of the spectrum was me several weeks ago in the middle of the phase 1 of my project. This is the person who eats tons of carbs. Candy whenever they see it. They drink shitty alcohol and sodas and fruit juices, and they eat sugary cereal and donuts, and you know what I'm talking about, okay? Their life is controlled by sugar. Then you have the other end of the spectrum. I guess the other end of the spectrum, in my opinion, would be carnivore. They literally are zero carb. They only put grass-fed meat and wild-caught meat in their body. Period. Almost everyone is going to be inside that spectrum somewhere. I'm almost positive no one watching this is on either of those. I hope you're not on the end of the spectrum that I was on, where you are tearing up your body, eating garbage day in and day out. And if you're ballsy enough to go carnivore, like our ancestors did, more power to you, but that's hard to do in the constraints of our modern reality. So, let's say you take the 2-week carb challenge with me. You can find on my website, all the resources, all that stuff. You're on day 3. You accidentally forget that peanut butter is not on the right list. You're not supposed to be eating peanut butter on the 2-week carb challenge. That night you go home and you're looking at the list and you see that peanut butter is not supposed to be, and you're like, oh shit, I totally forgot about that. I'm a fucking failure. I quit. I can't do this. Why would anyone in their right mind act like that? That's just absolutely silly. Now, if you pummel a bowl of pasta, then you've probably reset your progress and you simply need to start over. But let's not make this into a black and white situation. For some people, they're going to go balls to the wall. I'm kind of this type of person. This is where I don't fuck around. I don't go, well, you know, it's this special occasion, so I'm going to go ahead and eat the cheesecake. No, I'm not saying I'll never eat cheesecake, but right now I'm on a fucking mission to lose 43 pounds in 8 weeks. So cheesecake is not in my diet. Period. It's just how it is. A whole bunch of other shit that's not in my diet either. So I'm balls to the wall. I don't have very many carbs in my diet at all right now. Once I get down to a healthy weight, I'll pop one in here and there, do my thing, and that's my business. That's how I'm going to do it. As long as I stay healthy, more power to me. And the same goes for you. There's some people that might watch this, you're like, man, this is really, really challenging. I tell you what, my first goal is to just cut soda out of my diet. No more sodas. You know, Coca-Colas, root beers, Dr. Pepper, things like this. Just take that out and replace it with water. Holy shit, you've already made a lot of progress, a lot more than you probably think if you drink a bunch of that stuff. So there's some people that they're not going to go balls to the wall and keep their carbs under 5%, under 28 grams every day, shit like this. Maybe they just want to cut the simple carbs out. And they're like, you know, I'm going to try it like this for a while. I'm not so worried about sweet potatoes. Let me slowly move into that part. I would recommend going a little crazier because there's like a slippery slope there. If you give yourself too much latitude, it's easy to slip right back. That being said, fucking anything is better than nothing. So if you watch my entire journey, you've seen every single video, and the only thing you take away from it is, I used to drink a bunch of Dr. Pepper and I don't drink it anymore, I think that's a success. I'd love it if you were low carb, because I know you're going to feel way, way better. But you're on the spectrum. You see what I mean? The spectrum of compliance. How much are you going to eat meat and how much are you going to eat plants? Because you can be plants. Vegetables have carbohydrates in them, but they're so much healthier than sugar and things like this. And they're much easier on your blood sugar than like potatoes and pasta and bread. But some of the maniacs will say meat only. If you don't want to do that, that's okay. If you're not that much of a meat person, that's okay. When it comes to protein versus fat, if you're going to cut carbs out of your diet, you're going to replace them with either protein or fat, or probably both. Do you want a high protein diet or a high fat diet? It's your decision. It's okay. How far do you want to go into the I don't eat processed foods? Me personally, I haven't really attacked that one yet. Right now, I'm just worried about keeping my blood sugar low. I don't mind eating pepperoni slices and hot dogs. I always read the label to make sure there's no added sugars, but those are very processed meats. I'm okay with putting those in my mouth because they don't raise my blood sugar. You may or may not be. Like I say, there's a spectrum for compliance, and don't make it into one or the other. I have a friend who talks about perfectionists, floors and ceilings. Maybe your ceiling is 0 carb day, but your floor is, I didn't eat any sugar today. I think that sounds great. If you keep your floor and your ceiling the same, where if I eat any carbs, I've failed that day, that is a really tight place to live, and nobody wants to live there. So make sure you have a floor and a ceiling to your plan, but realize that it's a spectrum, and you're not a fucking loser if you're not on this complete end of the spectrum. If you just move a little bit in, start with that. And I would say keep going slowly, however much you can take, until you get over to the healthier side. And you're going to love your life. If you have the balls to move over there, then it's going to work better. But, you know what? I've fucking beat this dead horse enough. That's enough. So, be somewhere on the spectrum, move that way, and you're good to go. Check out Gary's book, Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It. Subscribe to my channel, and check out my website for a bunch of free resources, get updates. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers.